Tonight we are proud to continue a tradition that we started last year and hopefully will continue for years to come in honoring a member of the Carl Place High School community who has dedicated their life to the continued pursuit of musical excellence. Richard Greenberg has shared his love of music with us by performing alongside our students whenever possible. He's an amazing saxophonist, a skilled jazz improviser, and he's played with us at Blast, and he's played with us in the cabaret concerts that we do here. As he prepares for his retirement from Carl Place, we wish him well, and we hope that he'll come back and jam with us at a future Blast concert. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Green.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
How are we doing on the sound, Joni?
Just
Good?
fine.
How's the balance?
It's
So, I've been working here for about 7 years in technology, so I mostly deal with computers every day. And I've often wondered, and people have asked me, how come so many people who start out in music end up in computers? And I don't really know the answer to that question. It might be some left brain, right brain thing, some creative thing. I myself think it's persistence. You know, the other day I'm working on a song, and I had to slow this thing down to a snail's crawl just to get this finger and this finger to move together between two notes. And I kept working at it to get it faster and faster, and I couldn't get it. I still can't get it as fast as I'd like, but I'm going to be persistent and get it a little faster and faster, and by the time I'm 70 years old, I'll be able to play that song. I'll be able to play it faster. And computers, Patty and Lucy know, persistence is everything. Every day we get to work and there are problems, and they almost never get solved quickly. They're always like, try this, try that, remove that variable. And we have to be persistent, and sooner or later we solve the problem, and often we don't even know why. It's as if the computer gives up. It says, okay, you've paid your dues, I give up. Anyway, I think the main reason people who start out in music, a lot of them end up in computers, is because they couldn't get a job that paid a decent salary in music, and computers have been a pretty hot job market over the past 15, 20 years. So I think that's the main reason. I'm going to improvise most of this speech, sort of like a jazz musician. I have the framework, but I don't exactly know what I'm going to say, except I'm not going to curse. I have what has music meant to me. This is like the most important thing. This is like, what has music meant to me? And I can tell you, it's people. All through my musical career, which started in junior high school, it's the people. It's meeting people, it's playing on a team with people, it's developing relationships with people, and a lot of drinking with people. So when I looked through my musical life, my history, which started 50 years ago, I thought, well, it's actually not very exciting, but if I condensed it down to 3 minutes, it would seem like a lot of action. A lot was going on. This guy has done everything. So I'm gonna start in junior high. I was pretty fat. But they didn't call it fat, they didn't call it obese, they called it husky. And so when I auditioned for the music department, they naturally thought this is a tuba player, if I ever saw one. And so I lugged that tuba around for like a whole year. I remember in the winter, dragging that thing home from the school, my hand was killing me, it was heavy. And I enjoyed the tuba, but my best friend at the time was also the coolest guy. There's always the cool guy, and his name was Howie. He played the saxophone. And I somehow got the courage to go up to the band director and say, can I do the sax instead of the tuba? And he took pity on me. And that's when I started to play the saxophone. And to this day, you know that question when you fill out credentials on a website and they ask for your security questions and they say, who was your favorite teacher? Well, that was the guy that let me switch from tuba to saxophone. He's my favorite teacher, and I use him as my who was your favorite teacher security question, which is why I'm not going to tell you his name. So that would be a security breach. A serious security breach. Anyway, when I went to high school, I got a chance to leave home really early. I played for about 4 summers away from home up in the Catskill Mountains, and it was great. I learned a lot of things. I can't remember what. I know one of them was how to do my own laundry. I had to learn that the first summer I was away from home. And when I went to college, I continued to study music. And when I went to college, this is an important piece. I was sitting in the symphonic band early on, and I looked around, and there was this curly-haired redhead, not too far away, also playing saxophone. And it was pretty close to love at first sight. And we ended up spending a lot of, I'm not going to go into details, you know. We ended up spending a lot of time together at college, and she came with me. When I got out of college, I went to the placement office, and I said, I didn't even know there was a placement office at the time. We didn't have that kind of awareness back then, but I said, oh, I think I need to get a job, and I went to the placement office. They said, well, we got a job for you in Australia. You want to go? I said, yeah, definitely. I didn't even have to ask anybody, should I go to Australia? I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to Australia. And she came with me and had a great time in Australia. And I learned a lot in Australia. Mostly I remember the different beers, but and I do know I learned a lot in Australia. And then I came back to the United States after about 6 years of doing this and that in Australia, mostly teaching music, but I also got a chance to do a lot of playing in Australia. The great thing about being in Australia was that I was a much better saxophone there than I am here. So I was like the big fish in the small pond, relatively speaking, and I got to play on their equivalent of Broadway, which I couldn't walk into, get a gig here playing in the band, playing on Broadway. They'd throw me out pretty quick, but over there it worked. Anyway, I got back here, I went to Brooklyn College, I started studying media production, and that's when computers started coming into my life because everything started to go digital, and I was producing music and video and scripting, and it was all starting to be done on computers. And I thought, this is the coolest thing ever. This is like word processing and creativity and painting and photography and moving image and music and writing. It was just great, and I did that for a number of years. And of course, it was the computer piece of that I ended up saying, well, I better really get a real job that has a 20-year retirement thing, So I did. I ended up getting a job supporting computers at BOCES and then here. Anyway, let's see. I'm still playing music. In fact, this Saturday, Patty invited me to sit in with her band. Where's the gig, Patty?
Leo's.
Leo's. Saturday night, Leo's. So it's stuck with me, and now that I'm retiring, one of the first things I thought of is I have to find a proper size box to ship the saxophone from here to Seattle, which is where I'm planning on going. And it's not that easy to find a box to ship a tenor sax in, so that's my first order of business after I retire, is to find the right box. Anyway, thanks, Rich, Thanks, Joni. Thanks, Douglas. Thanks for all the great conversations. Thanks, Frank, for inviting me to play Four. Frank says he wants to play Four, the song Four, and I'm thinking, how fast do you want to play that song? And I said, you know, not too fast, please. Frank accommodated me. Thanks a lot, Rich. I love talking to you about music. You know, Rich talks about his nails and strings. I talk about my tongue and the reed. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, right.
I can't go into the redhead. The redhead is still a very close friend. I see the redhead a lot, so does my wife. Anyway, thanks very much. Thanks for coming. Thanks for having me.
I married my redhead, by the way.